Thanks everybody for tuning in to another Audiohead YouTube video review. This time around we have the X1 by ADL. It retails for around $480 and it is a DAC and headphone amp combination in one small unit. The footprint's roughly the size of the new iPhone, so it does pair really well with that kind of a thing if that's what you're looking for. The finish on the top is very nice. It's a nice metal, kind of semi-gloss, machined black look, which is very cool. And the sides are actually covered with more of a rubber feeling, as well as the back. So the rubber kind of texture is very characteristic of like the Evo phone they had a few years ago. Sometimes they used to cover them with a more rubber-like substance. So all things considered, the build and the texture, very solid with this one for $480. The price is a little bit on the higher side, but the quality of the build is kind of up there as well with the guys that play in that range, which is really nice. On the top of this, you can see that there are resolution indicators that light up with a corresponding feed that you're giving it. It's a really nice setup. I like it when a DAC tells you what you're getting so you can verify it if you don't have that kind of software on the back end. It doesn't do the new audiophile darling of the day, which is DSD, but there's not really much of a selection in the way of DSD music to begin with, so it's not that big of a deal with this unit particularly. I did find that the X1 drove headphones in the mid-range really well. There was a slight buzz with in-ear monitors, but nothing that didn't get covered up as you turn the volume up. But for almost every headphone I tried it with, and that includes the LCD2, even the 300 ohm HD 650, which is kind of hard to push, no problem whatsoever. The thing clear sailing, sounds great. The DAC on this thing is actually quite impressive. I really enjoyed it a lot. You can connect it to an external source via obviously the analog outputs, which is nice because you can isolate the DAC, but also optical if you wanted to keep going digital to the other side. So it's really versatile in that regard. A lot of different options there. In the front, you can even plug an analog input into it, so you can isolate the headphone amplifier if you just needed that. So I really enjoyed all the ins and outs of this. Really kind of diverse applications you can put it into, all kinds of fun stuff from the optical out, like I mentioned before, to isolating the headphone amplifier. You can really do a lot with it. And it's also quite compact and small. I guess one of the biggest perks I haven't mentioned yet is that it actually does Apple compliant connectivity. So if you got your iPad or iPhone, it connects directly into there via the USB port in the back. So you can just plug your cable that you already have right into there. Now ADL also makes smaller lengths of cable that are more appropriate if you want to latch these two together somehow. You can connect it to a micro USB cable into your computer and use it as up to a 192 hertz DAC, which is pretty good stuff both ways. If you have that kind of versatility, plug in both things and ready to rock and roll just like that. So it also charges through the micro USB in the back. So when you connect to the computer, it's also charging. I found the sound from this unit to be really good, really about the price point from the headphone amplifier that you would expect around this range. Detail was good, bass response was even, vocals were even. You didn't push them too far forward, they weren't recessed back. Everything was nice and flat, just like you'd expect. I did think that the DAC almost outperformed the headphone amplifier because limited space, but the DAC is pulled off very, very nicely. This thing is an all-around great piece. If you're looking for a lot of different stuff in one package that's also portable and feels really sturdy in the hand, this is probably something you'd want to audition. All kinds of good stuff coming in and out. Great sound. Great DAC on it. Does a lot, the really high resolution stuff, including Apple. So it's probably one of the most all-in-one kind of portable packages I've reviewed to date. Really cool. The company also makes a headphone to partner with this called the H118. that we did a review for, which is kind of, a nice pairing as well.